All right. Let's get ourselves started right here. We have the Mazda Semi Pro Race live right here. As many of you guys know full well that every 2 weeks I'll be hosting a race event. Thanks to everybody that tunes in. And take a little look right now with the lap times for the track that we're actually using right now. The track we're doing right now is the sprint race, which is going to be, as you've seen before, if you have or if you haven't, this is going to be a 10-minute sprint race, super soft compound tires. Hey, what's happening, Reg? But yeah, this is going to be a super soft compound for a 10-minute race, as these guys are getting themselves ready around the Red Bull track. 10-minute sprint, and the race after this following is going to be the Red Bull long track, and they're going to be using super softs and soft compound tires. And this time I'm hosting. I've got my 3-time champion, I would call him, kingpin, I guess, of the AMS Apex Motorsports. AMS Wrenches. He's going to be co-hosting alongside with me today.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So, yeah, tonight's race right here so far, we got Pelagaby right now. He's throwing down the fastest time, 52.8. Got OIG powered by Ford, Brienne, H2O Pro Sports, Mini Jumper, ANC Racing, George and Buds, Solar Rise. And right now we got in the pits right now, we've got Walk Tall Racer, Death Legacy, Freezer, and Speed, and Kudensen. Yeah, he's going to be just doing the sprint race because he's actually living in Denmark. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I believe he might actually do tomorrow's race. Tomorrow night we're actually going to be doing the pro race. First, second, and third place of the sprint, and well, not the sprint race, the actual main 40-minute endurance race. They're going to be entitled to see if they can actually put a good challenge alongside with the pros. They're going to have a little bit of work cut off for them, as I've obviously seen sometimes. But hey, it is what it is. How do you feel about tonight's race so far, Rich? How do you think it's going to take it?
I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Definitely. I feel like there are quite a few drivers who have a really good chance. You know, I see definitely everyone in the top 5 just about within half a second. But definitely the top 2, third definitely. Knudsen, H2O Pro Sports, Pelagaby, powered by Ford, Brienne, and I think
we got
Win One Speed probably as well.
He's actually sitting.
Win Speed is definitely.
Yeah, we definitely got Win One Speed. He's chilling right now in the pits. So he's.
Yeah. Again, these are just practice times though.
It
can definitely be completely different.
Walk Tall Racer as well, though he's actually been putting in some pretty good practice laps. Death Legacy as well. Freezer's new to it, but he feels like he's just out to race and have a good time, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's definitely good to have these drivers out here doing their thing. They're getting a little practice session in just before we even get this race underway. So it's 4 more minutes left until we get ourselves caught up for the actual qualifying. I'm just going to take myself a little look over the race settings just to make sure I got everything right. Yeah. But I believe that it's going to be pretty interesting for yourself tomorrow. Hopefully if all works through, we're going to have some surprise drivers to try and give you a little run for your money.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm really looking forward to it too. Because a bunch of guys who haven't done these races and it should be
I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
some new faces to the series and whatnot, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be it's expected for it to be an absolutely monumental battle for the lead.
And I feel that we're going to see some lap times that are going to be very impressive, and I can't wait to see it live on YouTube right here for everybody else to see, and actually show people that Apex Motorsports, you guys are definitely can obviously, as you've already proved, you could race more than just race cars, because you've already proved that in the BMW M389, the GRX8, what was it, Daytona, and what's the other car that you did? Yeah, those are 3 cars, and this will be the 4th one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep, and then the Mazda, so this will be the 4th one, hopefully for you, tomorrow night, for the same time, for the pro race. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, being a competitive driver myself, just like these guys who are out there now. It's every week, every other week when the races are, it's always a different car, and you are tuning these cars. This is, in fact, the Pro Tuning League, and every car is different. Every car has a different way it likes to be set up and a different thing you got to do with it, and each car has its little things, and it's completely different tuning each car. A lot of work goes into it to make yourself fast in each race. And it's definitely really interesting, and especially because you can get your tune wrong one week, have a better one the next week. Even the driver just have a combo you're not as strong at, and it really dices up the racing. And you're seeing a lot of different positions each race, drivers being kind of all over the place, and that's definitely something that is really great to see in racing.
Yeah. Well, pretty soon we're going to get ourselves pretty much almost underway. It looks like we got 1 more minute until the official start. And I believe Walktor is saying no commentary. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be in the usual chat. Obviously, for YouTube reasons, it's easier for myself to be hosting alongside with Wrench. And right now, like I said, I just got to make sure all my settings are ready to rock and roll. And we should be getting ourselves ready for this official race. Looks like Pelagaby is left, so hopefully we might be able to get another driver in. I'll just let guys know 1 more spot is open. I'm gonna have to pretty much stop. We are pretty much on time, so yeah. Unfortunately I can't really just sit around and wait. I said I'm gonna start on time, and let me get this last little message out. All right, here we go. Official qualifying.
Yep, all drivers are in.
All drivers are in on track. So
13 drivers.
Plug will be pulled out, so we might actually see this driver tomorrow night for the pro race. But yeah, for the drivers that we have listed here, we have Freezer, Solarized, Walktor Racer, Georgian Bud, Mini Jumper, Def Legacy, Shartho, ANC Racing, OIG Powered by Ford, H2O, Pro Sports, Brienne 354, Win 1 Speed, and Knudsen 1984. And obviously you've done this before with me a few times, qualifying. Well, I would say, practice, and then come qualifying. your practicing time and your qualifying time could be completely different.
That is definitely true. That is it's a very
So
very
certain
good
drivers,
statement.
how they might have been sitting on the positions. Hopefully,
Yeah,
they're
you
going
could
to
see
try
quite
and
a bit
at
different.
least aim for that same spot, or if not, one or two spots higher.
Yeah. Now there's not too much time here, so we could possibly see some slower times than we saw in practice. Considering that drivers in practice could have possibly been on a lighter fuel load,
Yeah.
so it's definitely going to be interesting. This is where the true pace comes out. Everyone's equal right now, and we'll see who can claim the fastest lap time. So it looked like quite a few drivers went wide in turn one.
So a lot
Knudsen
of people's going to have to be fighting
1984.
off their penalties before they go
Still,
in for their first.
yeah, he's the only one I see with a penalty right now. But Walk Tall Racer coming to the line, first one of them all, to set down his lap. And, this is the one they're all going to be aiming for.
And we have Brienne as well, who's
Yeah,
kind of stepped back from ORG, and she started her own league, not a race team. So kind of clarify it so people understand. The PTL is a pro tuning league. So people that are, if you are interested in tuning racing, racing cars that's never been raced before, that would be the person to obviously PM would be Brienne354. You just message her on the side on PS4, on your PS4, your PS5, whatever. I'm pretty sure you obviously know how to do it. And if you're interested in pro league, tuning league races, she'd be the one to contact, and she'll get you on board. But let's get ourselves away with these guys with their times right now. And it looks like Walk Tall Racer was up top, and Brienne took it right back from him.
So. Yeah, Walk Tall had it for a split second. It looks like Brie has it now. Just 2/10. It looks like the top five are all just about within half a second, and everyone else is still not even too far back there. The top seven, top eight now, all within 7/10. So this is really, really close, and it's super exciting to see as all of the drivers keep changing their order, putting in better laps and whatnot.
Win One Speed from ORG. He's representing very good. He's got himself so far on the podium for the start right now with that number 44 machine. H-Row Pro Sports, he's in 5th place, but he's only 0.363 of a second off. But these lap times, as we know, they because the tire wear is very low, the fuel wear is low, but by the time they even get the heat in the tires, when it gets closer to the end of the qualifying session, these lap times are pretty much actually just going to get faster and faster, as long as they could stay away from these 0.5 penalties, which can usually ruin the race. And I think Richard, Walk Tall Racer, he's pulling off on the side, letting people out of letting everybody cross on the race line. He's going to have some dirt on his tires, so he's going to have a little bit of work cut out for him to get that dirt off. But yeah, even top 7 to 8 cars are within 1 second of each other.
Yeah, that's
Shasta has put down his fastest time right now, but he's still 1.3 seconds off pace. Solarize, he's one of my mates. He's fresh. He's what we will call a noob. He's one of the obviously the newer drivers, but he's out there doing his thing. He's getting in. He's more interested into the getting kind of reinterested back into the racing. So it's good to see that we've got somebody on board that wants to get back into the racing online. And George and Butt, he's a little bit far a little bit more off the pace than where he needs to be. He's 4.648 seconds off the pace. I think
But
he's
I'm watching him right now. He has just set a personal best first sector, so we could see a pretty
I
big
think he
lap
might be
time.
getting caught up with the what do you call it, the penalties every lap. Hasn't been able to throw a good one down, so hopefully he could be able to.
Just coming towards the last corner now. Looks solid. Let's see, can he get himself off the bottom? Did look pretty solid. Given that, and he has gotten himself off the bottom.
Yeah, 0.285 of a.
And still, even these guys at the bottom, anywhere from like 10th to 13th-ish, 9th, even 8th actually. But, all the gaps are just super, super small.
Yeah.
So definitely no more
like,
than half a
Death's
second in
Legacy's
between
about
any two drivers.
0.3 of a second actually up right now.
So win one speed is actually
Might not be enough though
very competitive lap.
to get himself in front of Shaw. But the gap between first and second place, 0.011 between first and second place between Winspeed and Knudsen, 1984. Brienne's 0.262 off the lead. She starts getting herself ready for her last section. And with the way how the time is, I don't think that she would be able to get another lap in. Winspeed's pitted in.
She doesn't improve. Bree stays third. A lot of drivers, it looks like, have finished, but we got quite a few coming to the line now. We could see some changes in the position. Chateau doesn't improve his position, but he does improve his lap time. Solarize 555 has jumped back up from the bottom up to 12th, just by 7/100ths of a second over George and Bud. So
we got
even all the way from the front to the back, close battles.
And just so those that are watching, Mini Jumper, Solarize, and George and Bud, they've had maybe at the most of 25 minutes of practice on the setups, so which is kind of expected to be where they are. But let's get ourselves on the way for this main race. Like I said, this is going to be a 10-minute sprint race, followed by a 40-minute endurance race. As we have Knudsen 1984, Winspeed, Brienne, and Walk Tall Racer, H2O Pro Sports, Death Legacy, Freezer, ANC Racing, so on and so on. As we get ourselves ready for this official start. See what corner one can give us. Is Win One Speed was able to actually take up the inside. A lot of action going on in the back there. And Knudsen 1984, was able to reclaim that spot back from Win One Speed. Brienne right on Win One Speed's tail. I don't know what action you're seeing, but it looks like somebody's actually not too sure who it was. It looks like ORG powered by Ford.
He's gone off. He's definitely not happy about that. It seems he's placed the blame on Death's Legacy.
Yeah, we'll definitely we'll definitely be going over the actual race itself, and obviously assess it from there. Unfortunately, the race must still go on. As we are back up in the front, Brienne, she's sneaking up on the inside. She's actually been able to push her way up into second place.
This is really interesting up here, this battle up at the front. Now Bree has brought herself from third up to second, and she's not even 3/10 off the leader now, so definitely still in slipstream, and could very well get a run on first place. And see if she can take the lead from Knudsen.
seems a little bit upset right now. But unfortunately, I'm actually commentating live right now, and I can't be race director like that. I can't see exactly what happened there. I will address, obviously, the situation. Watch over the race before we start the 40-minute endurance race. And depending on what happens with the situation, if it looked like it was personal on purpose, or obviously I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because I know Death's Legacy's not like that. Everybody's a little tight, everybody's given space. We've got 7 minutes left in this actual race right here on the short track for the sprint race. As 1984 is still leading the way. Brienne and Win One Speed, 3 cars are definitely still very tight within each other. Walk Tall Racer, he's about 4 seconds off the pace. ANC Racer, Mini Jumper, they're actually having their own race right now.
Looked like Wind Speed for a second up at the front. Had a little look down the inside of Brienne, but thought better of it. Backed out going into the penultimate corner. But the top 3, man, are still super, super close. And it's going to play out to be such an interesting race. And, especially in the main event as well. Ooh, and it looks like the top 2 may be getting themselves a penalty there.
All 3, I think, might have. All 3 of them are claiming penalties now, so that might actually bite them all in the tail if they keep collecting these penalties before the time's up.
Down the inside, and Windspeed's actually moved himself back up into second place.
Yeah,
they do all have penalties right now.
I would say just keep watching the front. I'm going to see what's going on in the back here. As ANC Racing, and he's actually pulled to the side. Mini Jumper was able to pease his way across. Shatho, not too far behind ANC Racing. Solarize, he's in 8th place. George and Bud and Death's Legacy having their own battle right now. Freezer, he's sitting in 11th place right now, and you have H2O Pro Sports. He's got a little bit of penalty as well. I'm not too sure what happened there with him.
If you come back up to the front, though, it looks like right now Knutson and Windspeed going wheel to wheel for the lead into the second corner. Knutson is able to maintain that advantage that he had, but Windspeed, though, right behind him, super close. We're only halfway through the race. And we've definitely, in these top 3, seen a ton of action so far.
Yeah, it's actually getting pretty impressive right now, because all 3 of them are within 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second of each other. And it's been like that, actually, since the flag has actually dropped. As you can see, you got Walk Tall Racer. He does see him in his sights.
Down the inside, turn 1.
Can he make it stick?
Backs out of the move. Not going to be able to make it stick right there.
Yeah, I mean, even as small as this track is, there are a couple of spots, I believe, where you can overtake somebody cleanly. You just got to kind of line them up the best you can. For those that are watching, I mean, you got to really get that draft and corner it right and on the exit, so that way there you can get enough drive to try and get back up on the inside.
Windspeed's actually made a mistake, dropped him back into a 3rd. And it looks like Brienne is just outside of Cutson's the slipstream range. And
yeah, it's actually caused us
a little bit of a gap is beginning to form. See, the battle for second intensifies, and this is just allowing first place to be able to pull away.
Yeah, his gap is starting to get a little bit more comfortable. As Bree, as you can see, she's already 1.5 seconds behind first place. And there's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this actual race. And I think the more that Brienne and Win One Speed fight it out, it's going to just cause first place to pull a more comfortable pace away from him. We're literally just at the 3-minute mark.
If we look back here, battle about 6th and 7th. What I'm seeing right now, Shotto and Mini Jumper.
Yeah, I'm actually just getting into that right now, and I can see that both of them right now, they're getting their own little battle.
shot down the inside.
He's
Ooh,
trying
that
to
was
make
a
it,
bit of a
and he's
barge.
a little bit of
That
a
was a
dive
bit
bomb right
aggressive.
there.
Probably could have found a better spot to make that work.
Yeah,
But
I'm actually surprised he actually didn't get collect a penalty for that one.
yeah, that was definitely a bit questionable.
George and Bud Slaughterize, H2O Pro Sports, Freeze the Death's Legacy, ORG powered by Ford. He's still sitting in last place, but he's still sticking to the wicket. Still in the race for the run. The gap between first and second place is definitely broadened.
We're just under 2 minutes now.
Yep, and the gap's about getting close to actual 3 seconds. So we might be able to get maybe 2, 3 at the most laps in. At Win 1 speed, he's claiming quite a few penalties. As
He could definitely come back and hurt him at the end.
Yeah, if he doesn't get rid of him, he looked like he's lost it. That little power slide is actually going to cause Brienne to maybe pull away from the slip. So that might actually allow Brienne to take that second place, but she's going to claim another penalty because getting a little bit on the green paint right there.
Oh wow, and Knudsen has gone into the pits from the lead with just 1 minute left to go. Not really sure why he's done that. Yeah, that's definitely going to change the entirety of the race up. It's going to change his race. Most definitely. He's going to go from the win, and he's going to drop a lot of positions.
I'm hoping that he making the
stop. I'm hoping that he has come in, and he didn't change fuel, no tires. Hasn't taken anything. And that's actually going to drop him all the way down into 7th place.
But I believe that he was actually
back out of the race.
Yeah, I think that
that's completely changed the race, and it looks like back up for the lead. It looks like Brienne has made a mistake, and she's now almost 5 seconds behind wind speed.
Yeah, so right now
I must have missed that with the leader pitting, but yeah, wow,
and
that's
looks like
completely
Win 1
changed.
speed
Then
is going to be the only one on the lead lap.
No, Bree is.
No, Bree was able to make. Bree and
our finishers right now, A&C Racing, just running a consistent race, staying out of trouble.
And he was able to get.
Brady Jumper made his way up into 5th, ahead of Chateau, who got ahead. And H2O Pro Sports, right behind Shaw, just running a nice consistent race, staying ahead of George and Bud, but was able to make his way up into 8th place ahead of That's Legacy Ford, Frista, and Solarize, who is going to round out all of our 12 contestants here in the sprint race. But this is not the main event. The main event will be coming up shortly after this, and our pole sitter is going to be Win 1 Speed, and Brienne going to start right behind. Or actually, no, Walk Tall Racer. Just by about 1/10 of a second with the penalties that Bree had, was actually able to get up into 2nd place. So that's definitely really good result for him. Walk Tall Racer then going to be starting in 2nd place for the main event. So that's really interesting. The grid completely changed with the Cutson's mistake that he made. Guess he didn't view the rules properly.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate. I mean, we know full well that he had to win. I gotta save the race results.
You will have to pit for the.
Yes. I think that's what lost him. We could definitely say that he pretty much had that race in the bag. Yep. Unfortunate. Looks like Ford's got a little bit upset. I can understand. Not too sure exactly what what exactly happened, but I will be saving the replay. Yes, hey, big up Leon and the crew. You guys all watching. Respect you guys. I believe Leon said that he's actually going to be having the guys in the workshop. So shout out to you guys. Team OG. Respect to you guys. Yeah, win one speed for the win. And I'm just going to be sharing the race real quick before we get ourselves underway for the actual main event. But yeah, Wrench, how do you feel about that actual that ending? I mean, the way how we
That
thought how it was going to
that was
be and how it
interesting.
actually ended up was
It
completely.
was completely different. I missed a mistake from Brienne, who looked like she kind of had it in the bag, but ended up behind wind speed while we were focusing on the mistake that the leader made, and that completely that every incident that happens, it's not that easy to do, and you super action-packed race. You know, everything was just really exciting, and it looks like Windspeed's actually left the room. Our sprint race winner. Connection issue possibly, or
Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly what happened, but I obviously will watch the replay later. Nothing too much I could do about that. Um, so unfortunate with what happened, but obviously I was focused on what was going on in the front, so we'll watch the replay and assess it from there. And let
yeah, I
me
feel like
change.
a like kind of an overlooked performance in that race was Mini Jumper, who actually made his way up in a fifth
Okay,
after having probably about half an hour of practice, was able to finish
top
well
five out
within
of.
the top half of the field,
Yeah,
and
it's not bad.
that was really impressive. Really
That
impressive.
actually is that actually is pretty impressive. Um, but right now I'm actually just making the room adjustment changes to the 40-minute setting, and it'll be obviously a rolling start. Grid price based on previous results. It's going to be a 40-minute race, and everything else is the same.
This race will be on the long configuration of the track. Haven't seen any notifications of what's going on with him. Haven't heard anything.
Yep. Whichever way, it's going to be 5 minutes till the official start for the actual 40-minute endurance race. Uh, and pretty much go from there.
Yeah, Win 1 Speed is still online. I'm not really sure what was going on with him there. I definitely wouldn't expect that from the one who won the sprint race and was set to start in the best position for the endurance, the ANC racing. Maybe a connection issue as well. Yeah, he's joined right
Yeah,
back.
I believe he has issues where he has to leave and he has to come back. But yeah, we are 5 more minutes, obviously, and then we'll be able to get ourselves on the way for the second race, this 40-minute endurance race, and get ourselves locked and loaded and see who's the semi-pro game.
Yeah, we have lost about 2 or 3 people. Our leader for most of the sprint race, and looked like he was set to win, but just misunderstood the rules, I guess.
He, like I said, he's actually based out of Denmark, so he couldn't promise that he could make the whole race, because he has to make work at a certain time. So he was able to squeeze in enough to actually do the sprint race. But whichever way, it's all good. He entered the sprint race. He did make his mistake. You could pretty much say he won the race, even though he did pit it. But that's where the mistake comes.
Yeah, good call by Walter.
Yes, definitely. As I need to change the event settings once again. Maximum tires, minimum tires.
But yeah, definitely watching the race and viewing the races from this perspective rather than driving is definitely a lot different, and you can see more what's going on and what all the drivers are doing, and it's a lot of it's super fun to watch. There were plenty of really close battles all throughout the field.
Yeah,
And
it's definitely.
hopefully we can see more of the same.
It was definitely some great racing between some of the drivers. Obviously, it looked like Ford, from the way how he was commenting. I'm assuming that he had he got tied up with one of the other drivers. But I definitely will be going over that just to make sure that to see if it was dirty or whatnot, and if it was, then I'll deal with it from there. Uh, Obviously, because I try and keep this as clean as possible. I've got no time to tolerate obviously dirty driving from people, but from what I know, if it was tied up with Death's Legacy, I'm pretty sure it definitely wasn't intentional. As we all know full well, I know him personally, and I've drove alongside him for a very long time. He'd rather move out of the way than hold you up, and you've drove alongside him, so you know full well he's not trying to do anything intentional. We're gonna get ourselves ready for the second race right now. Starting. Let's just type up real quick. Starting now.
But yeah, hopefully we don't see any more instances like what happened with Ford in the first race, because I feel like a lot of times that can happen, and you know, sometimes it is just a mistake, and incidents do happen.
Yeah.
It is, you know, it's a part of racing.
Yes, it definitely does happen. But we're already 3 minutes past our starting time, so I'm gonna get these guys up and ready. As
Yeah,
everybody's
it looks
in.
like everyone has entered.
All right.
It's definitely going to be super interesting as
Because the whole field's gonna be
Win One
completely.
Speed took the win and
So
left the
basically,
room for the final.
Walked Racer, he will pretty much be starting up the front.
He will be starting on pole. He will be starting first.
I think
Racer.
this is the first time he's ever. I think this is the first time I make Walked. Yes, big up Richard whenever you see this.
And it's really interesting to see too, because first and second, and also seventh place as well. That's Legacy. All of them are starting on the soft and the harder compounded tire, which is really interesting to see, because a lot of times you don't really see the leaders up in front starting on the softs.
Yeah.
So theoretically, that is going to give Mini Jumper the best shot at this first stint to see what he can really do with this car, as he is the first driver in line on the fastest compounded tires. And
First,
it's
next
definitely
to Chateau in 4th place. So
yeah, as well as him. But it's really interesting to see here with Mini Jumper, because he's had such limited practice, and he could be in with a really big shot here to do really well and get himself right up to the front, and possibly find himself in the lead if he gets lucky and he plays his cards right. But looks like Chateau may be on the inside, thinks a little better of it, and
Walked he's
getting loose.
Getting a little loose here, because obviously that's that compound tire, that racing soft compound tire, and you got guys behind you with the super softs. Trying to go with that
top 4, top 5 even, all battling here. Going in really interesting. H200, Brienne's going to go wide off the track. Walkthall gets a little loose. Chateau from 4th place on the grid on lap 1 finds himself now in the lead on the outside of Walkthall Racer. Going into the midfield section, he gets a little loose there. Walkthall's still trying to hold it on the inside. Wow, this is a great race. This is great, really.
We're trading paint already. First lap in, 40 minutes.
Around the outside. We're only a minute and a half in, and these guys are racing their hearts out, man. And Walkthall's gonna come back at him on the harder compounded tire. Let's see though, Chateau. Is he gonna be able to keep it? Walkthall does have the inside. Does he think better of it? Yes, he does. Right here, but all the top 4 are right there. It's really interesting.
We've even got Mini Jumper. Mini Jumper's
on the outside.
He's doing his
Mini
thing
Jumper's
as well.
going to lose the slip. He's going to have to slot back into 4th there. But, yeah, now H2O Pro Sports in the mix, but Chateau, 4th to 1st on the first lap.
Yeah,
definitely
once again,
ANC Racing, though, further back.
I got some of the ORG boys out there watching, so I know you guys enjoying right now. Shouting out to Chateau. Is doing his thing right now, but it looks like between Walkthall and Chateau is getting very interesting. But we also know H2O Pro Sports, he would line them both up. As you can see, we're almost three wide.
Almost.
Up on the top back straightaway. I think H2O, he's going to dive.
H2O, he's going to go for it.
He's going to go for it.
He's going to go for it. 3 wide. On the second lap of the race, a little bit of contact up front. I definitely feel like that's more of a racing incident. But it looks like Chateau's going to come back. Chateau's going to come back. He's going to find himself a nice exit. He's going to try around the outside again. Gets a little loose. No, he's off into the gravel. Chateau really aggressive here on these first 2 laps. And it looks like it's come back to hurt him. Everything was looking so great for him. And now he finds himself with about 6.5 seconds left to claim back up to the leaders.
But to be honest, it is a 40-minute race. If he does still have that same drive pace, he actually might. I mean, it's only 7 seconds off, so I'm pretty sure if he keeps driving at that pace, he should be able to try and figure his way back up to the front. As you got George and Buds right behind him. These guys will be claiming a couple penalties alongside with it. ANC Racing, he's chilling out in the back. Solar Eyes, he's chilling out in the back as well.
Yeah, back up at the front, H2O Pro Sports is a little bit of a gap to Walk Tall Racer, but a Walk Tall up there is on the soft tires. And as well as Brienne, who's actually made her way back up towards this front group, and is reeling in Mini Jumper, is in his slipstream.
And Bree
she may be able to claim another spot back there.
The soft compound tires as well.
Yeah, that's really, really impressive. A little mistake it looked like there for Mini Jumper, and that's just going to allow
from my personal experience, I find that the soft compound tires, the pace isn't really as far off as what you would think it is. Maybe half a second at the most.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the super softs will come into play. Actually, probably get better compared to the softs towards more of the end of the stint. But so a little bit of defense there for Mini Jumper. Brienne, they're gonna stay maybe side by side into this corner. Bree's gonna go for it. Mini Jumper, very respectful, leaves the space, and Bree is, after a lap 1 incident, going off into the gravel. Found herself back up in third, but gonna pick up a penalty there in the last corner, as well as Mini Jumper as well. But it looks like they may.
It looks like we've lost another driver, Solar Rise. He's realized he's not able to keep up with the pace. All good, all understandable. H2O Pro Sports, he's still leading the way. He's got a 9.6, 9.7, and 9.8 seconds, so it's still getting his gap is getting broader and broader, and he also picked up a purple on the first section there. Walk Tall Racer, somewhat in the draft. And you got Brienne trying to work off the penalties. As Mini Jumpers in 4th place. Freezer, he's doing his thing. He's sitting in 5th place. Shother is in 6th place. He's like I said, his gap is a little bit more than what it was when he first got back on the track, but that could have been because everybody else was pretty much up and rolling. But lap 4, he's sitting on a purple, so he's actually putting down some faster laps right now, well, faster times, in order for him to be purple in the next section right there. And so far right now, overall, we actually have Walk Tall Racer with 137.965 as the fastest lap time so far. But fastest laps don't win races, as it's been proven many times over again, because even though he has the fastest lap, there is another man in front of him. H2O Pro Sports. Brienne, she's about 4 seconds off to H2O Pro Sports. Mini Jumpers about 7 seconds. Freezer's 9 seconds. 10.2 seconds on Chateau. 19 from ANC Racing. And it looks like George and Butts, he's pulled the plug as well. One thing about these races right here, you gotta stick to the wicket to the end, man. It's a lot of pressure being put on. And these races, I always say, they are not easy races. You have to drive, you have to push. Looks like so far we've got about 7 people sticking to the wicket so far. And it looks like H2O, he's sitting on a purple lap right now. 32 minutes left and counting. Walk-Tall Racer.
Walk-Tall Racer's gained some time, though.
He has
Definitely
actually gained quite a bit of time. Brienne, she's pretty much sitting in the same spot. But we also have to remember, but I mean, Walk-Tall's sitting on racing sauce.
Exactly, and so is Bree. So it may come to the two of them even more once they go to pit.
They might
be
be trying to get the most out of the tire, maybe pit 20 minutes in.
That looks like it definitely could be a pretty good strategy, but you know, in the next 10 minutes, this race, you know, especially for the top three, could definitely turn on its head completely. With
especially if you have the other drivers.
Changing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because if the other drivers stay out,
compounds of tires.
looking at the tire wear between H2O, as I know he's on a wheel, versus Walk-Tall Racer is actually pretty close. And even for Brienne, Mini Jumper's doing pretty good. He's sitting in 4th place. His tire wear is not too bad. Vice versa for Chateau.
It looks like Chateau may be catching up to Mini Jumper, but we know he's definitely got some pretty good pace in this race. And if he can run really consistent and really fast laps, then he could maybe get himself back up there closer with the leaders come the end of the race, because there's still the whole half an hour left in this race for these drivers to
you're absolutely right.
Either gain or lose time. You know, anything can happen.
But H2O Pro Sports, as we are back up the front, he's
Walk-Tall Racer.
Walk-Tall Racer looked like he's pulled a little bit of a extra gap away from Walk-Tall Racer, still with that fast lap with minute 37.6. Picked up a penalty. As you see, Bree, she's not too far off. So, not too sure exactly what's going on with Walk-Tall's tune, but for some reason, corner 2, it seems like he kind of drifts out a little bit too far wide, gets himself up on the rumble strip. It's got a little squirrely too. That alone would allow Brienne to maybe reel in a little bit of extra real estate.
Yeah, definitely.
She's up to 2 seconds
H2O
behind.
Pro Sports has actually pulled quite a big gap away from Walk-Tall Racer, as he's definitely not been onto a great lap. There have been a few mistakes and whatnot, and he's just picked himself up a penalty to top off the lap. That's really not been going the way that he wants.
I have a strong feeling about what's happening right now for H2O Pro Sports is that the racing super soft tires, the heat might be starting to really get in the tires, and he might be actually really starting to get a little extra stickiness to actually help him pull away a little bit from them soft compound tires. But you got to remember, he also just has to pit, and he has to change tires from the racing super soft to the soft. Yeah.
So it's all still to play for, most definitely. But a move I missed, Chateau did get himself past Mini Jumper and up in a 4th place. So it looks like the 3 leaders do have quite a bit of a gap.
Yeah, you could definitely see that
the chance of him catching is a little unrealistic. But you know, again, anything can happen.
And like we said, just the simple fact that we do have to keep in mind that Walk-Tall Racer and Brienne, even though they're 3-4 seconds off pace, we got to remember that they are on the slower compound tires. So the faster they can bring them back, the faster they get on those clicks, on those when they get in the pit, the faster they could make their tire swap change, which would be pretty easy, because usually when you go into pit, it automatically gives you the choice of the super sauce. Usually if you're going super sauce to sauce, you actually have to spend a little bit of a couple seconds or a split of a second to actually make the decision change. So that would actually just leave you in the pits longer for H2O, depending on how quick he is to make that swap over. And like I said,
I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem with that. But it's going to be really interesting because he's pulling a bit of a gap now. And it looks like Bree actually
has claimed a
probably
lot
has
more
the
real
best
estate.
pace out of the top three right now. She's close to about a second or so on both drivers up at the front. And she is still yet to go on to the faster compound tire.
Her fastest lap officially is that last lap, which was 137.784, which isn't too far off of Richard's 137.655. So Shatho pulling a little bit of a gap on mini jumper as well.
Ooh, Walkthall Racer off. Second place. Walkthall Racer in the second sector has found the gravel where Bree found it on the first lap.
So now the
same thing now is happening to both drivers on the softs.
Because we all know full well Brienne, she's actually on a faster lap right now. Her tires are starting to really heat up their softs. And H2O Pro Sports is actually somewhat in her sights.
Yeah, that's really interesting. She keeps just ticking away a little bit at that gap. I noticed definitely she's come to grips probably with the soft tires, and they've just been running a little bit more consistent than she was at the beginning of the race. As there we go. She's now set the fastest lap, 137.5. And now she walked on Racer after his mistake coming to the pits.
But could that benefit him, depending because of going on the super sauce earlier?
It actually probably will. I think, even though he did fall off of the front two drivers a little bit, they still may have to react to that, and they may want to change their tires a little bit now, because theoretically Walkthall Racer should have the best pace out of all of these in the top three battle.
Yeah, the gap between H2O Pro Sports and Brienne is actually dwindled. It looks like it's gotten a little bit, I don't know, it's actually raised back up. I saw 3.7 at one point.
Yeah, it was. I think Bree kind of made a little bit of a mistake there in that last
She's
corner.
still on track with all four wheels.
Yeah, and the gap is still less than it was a few laps ago, and that's really
so right
mostly
now,
what matters. But let's see if any of these drivers are going to make their way into the pits. Probably not. H2O stays out, and Brienne stays out as well.
I think Brienne, she might go for that 20-minute time frame, so that way there she's got an equal amount of time and wear on her tires. Shatho, he's still going around on his super sauce. He's still yet to pit. Mini Jumper, he's chose to switch over early from the super sauce. That way he could knock that one in the head. But we also have to remember ANC, Frieza, Shatho, Brienne, and H2O Pro Sports, the only cars that haven't pitted. The only two cars that have pitted are Walkthall and Mini Jumper. Even though that they're sitting in 6th and 7th place, it means that they're pitted now and getting that out of the way. Depending, because they're going to be on fresher tires, they might be able to regain some of that gap in between, and then when the other drivers pit, they might be coming around the corner with them exiting the pit. So Mini Jumper's made his way out.
Super interesting here, as up at the front the gap is stayed just about the same. between Brienne and H2O Pro Sports, which is really interesting because they are on two completely different tire compounds. And I think once they change that, the gaps between their lap times could possibly change as well. And Brienne, if she keeps it consistent, could possibly have a shot at the race win coming at the end of the race.
Yeah, she's
after
run.
that
I think
lap
she's
1 incident.
officially thrown down her actually fastest lap as of yet. 137.5. I believe one of her fastest laps was like 137.8 or 9. It was. I can't remember what it was in qualifying. But at the end of the day, she's throwing down to 137 in the race here. She's not going to win the race. She's still got to keep going till the end. As we're getting actually close to halfway through there. I'm assuming that she's going to go for the halfway point pit. Here in the tires of H2O. He sounds like his tires are actually starting to wear in a little more. Get a little bit more worn than Brienne, so I don't know if Brienne might she might pit this lap, she might pit next lap. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Shotha, he's still got a pit as well. He's sitting in third place. He's got a fairly decent gap between himself and Friesel.
20-minute mark right now. Let's see, H2O Pro Sports stays out. Could Brienne possibly go for the undercut? Yes, she is. Brienne is coming in now to the pits. It's about 20 minutes and 15 seconds left for the race. So this could be interesting. The drivers don't really have to take that much fuel. As it looks, her fuel is just around halfway. And the race is exactly now halfway over. So we'll see. Does Bree play it safe and put a little bit extra fuel in the tank? Or does she decide to stretch it out a little bit? That is going to be the question here. Let's see, she's got tires and a little bit of fuel. Possibly. That's quite a bit of fuel going in that car. It's almost full, so it's at 90%. So now she's definitely safe and going to have enough time to enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. But Walk-Tall Racer has actually come out ahead of Brienne,
Okay.
and the gap that the two of them have now is about the gap that Bree had to H2O Pro Sports. So, if you think about it, Walk-Tall Racer, if H2O pits this lap, Walk-Tall should be incredibly close to him on the exit of the pits, depending on if he decides to put fuel in his car or not.
Yeah. Looks like I think the mini jumper pulled out on him.
Yeah, I did catch that. The run in the back.
But the race must go on. This is a race for the strong. As we know, once you start losing too much pace, people lose their incentive because they know full well they're not going to catch. But as you can see right now, H2O Pro Sports, he's actually in the pits. That's caused Shotha to go up the front, but he's still yet to pit. He's getting his chance right now to lead this race. And H2O Pro Sports, with 18 minutes left, he's made his way out. He's sitting in second place. Frieza's in third. He's still got a pit. I think he's the last. Him and ANC are the last two to pit.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at this here, though, it's
the gap between
Walk-Tall Racer is pretty close to ANC Racing, who I believe still has to pit.
Yes,
it looks like he does. But Walk-Tall is going to H2O, who has pitted, and he's now actually got quite a gap. I know Frizz is still yet to make his stop, as well as Chateau. ANC Racing, I believe. So half the field has stopped and half of them haven't. But it's definitely really interesting to see
Yeah, it's
that,
gonna.
how the pit stops played out, and they definitely massively affected the race. But H2O now is let's move that there. So H2O in the pits probably gained about 6 to 7 seconds on Brienne
Okay.
through the pit stops, and is about 10 ahead now for the provisional lead. And Waltall's about second,
It looks like
about 3 seconds
Freeze
behind
is that.
H2O Pro
If I'm right,
Sports.
that's Frieza. He's actually going in for his pit session.
Yes, he has.
And the last person to pit will be ANC. And sorry, my apologies also, Shathu. Even though he's leading right now, he still has to pit. He's still on his racing super sauce right now. I think he's going to try and eat him up as much as he can until he starts losing his pace. But he just...
Yeah, if you look at the lap
his
times,
personal
Chateau
best,
has just set his personal best.
yeah,
He just said it, so
what he
tires
got
definitely
himself
haven't
in.
fallen off too much yet.
Yeah, he was able to get in the 137s.
Just run the best tires for as long as you can, and then switch over to the others. This is probably the strategy he's going for. But it looks like there's a good chance if
The
H2O
gap is
keeps
still
fast
getting
pace,
a little
and
broader between
stays.
himself and second place. So, I mean, obviously, if he could use the racing super sauce as long as he can. Walk Tall Race is starting to make his way, and he can see H2O in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like Buffalo Racer just a lap or two ago set the new fastest lap a 137.3,
Okay.
and H2O that last lap set a 137.5. So
Okay.
the lap times are really close, really close between these drivers. And Chateau, even though he hasn't pitted, he's maintaining about a 14-second gap to H2O Pro Sports.
And it was actually a low 14. Now it's actually getting closer to a higher 14. So that should be able to help him out with his pitting strategy. So when he does his tire swap, unfortunately he had that spin out early on the sand. I'm pretty sure if he actually didn't have that incident early in the race where he lost about 7 seconds, he actually would have had a broader gap, which would have gave him more room for his pit strategy. Let's see, time is dwindling down. We do have 13 minutes left. The gap is somewhat still the same between Chateau, as he's leading in first place over HO Pro Sports, Walk Tall Racer, ANC Racing, and Brienne is Chateau and ANC Racer. From what I know, both need a pit. Gonna give him one more reminder. As I'm pretty sure they already know full well what they have to do. race.
Good shot will make them within the next 2 laps.
Yeah, they still have enough time. I'm just giving them just a little friendly reminder. But Walk Tall Racer looked like he's actually gotten a little closer to H2O Pro Sports.
Yeah, he definitely has.
He's
lap times have been just a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and it's actually still dwindling between them. From what I saw earlier, it was like 3 seconds earlier. They're under 3 seconds now. If he keeps going at this pace, he might be able to get up in the draft.
on the softer and the faster tire compound.
Yeah, he's actually on the Racing Super Sauce now. As we know, H2O Pro Sports, he's actually on the soft compound tire. So I'm pretty sure some people that are watching, I'm pretty sure if you tried this setup, I guess you would know how you want to go with your tire strategy.
Yeah, and the gap actually just keeps getting smaller, and Walktall's full tenth purple.
He's actually, yeah.
That's really good. And it's now under 2.5 seconds is the gap between the provisional top 2 drivers, I should say.
Yes, because of the simple fact that the top driver hasn't pitted as of yet.
It looks like he should probably come in about this lap. His pace has fallen off a little bit, so we definitely may see him come in this next corner here and put those softs on and see if he can lose as little amount of time as possible. The damage limitation, though, after the incident on the first lap. He does come in
the pits, yeah.
5% of his fuel left. Super soft tire is going to have to change over to the softs.
He might actually have to add some fuel too.
Coming around the final corner. But yeah, Chateau does have to add fuel as well. Yeah, hasn't quite arrived in his pit box yet.
As you can see the difference between
H2O ANC Racing coming as well.
Yep, so basically everybody has officially pitted, which is good.
Chateau changes tires. Looks like ends up a bit behind, but definitely going to come out behind Brienne. And, probably end up in 4th place coming out, which is a pretty solid result. Just missing out on the top 2. He has fueled his car back up to 100%,
which I think
has probably lost him a bit of time.
Yeah, I think he's definitely by far over fueled. Not too sure exactly. Not too sure exactly how did he actually burn all that fuel. Could be the way how the tune was set. Be how he's using the gearbox.
This is actually really interesting to look at. You see the fuel percentage of the top 2 drivers. It looks like H2O Pro Sports definitely has enough fuel to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, I think
Walktall Racer, on the other hand,
he's going to be
maybe a little bit low.
Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, he's throwing down a 1:37, 1:46. I think that's one of the fastest lap times separate that I've seen from myself or yourself as an AMS driver. For those that are watching right now, I actually did do a 1:36.8. My optimal was a 1:36.6. I do have proof for that. But yeah, for Walk Tall Racer to actually throw down a 1:37.1, cahoots to him. That's some good stuff there. It's a pretty fast lap time.
And definitely don't miss the race tomorrow. It should be a very good race with a lot of fast drivers coming out to play.
We definitely
it's going to
have some
super fun to
through.
drive myself.
Yeah, you might actually. You're definitely gonna have I think you're gonna have your work cut out for you. But that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's good. That's what we like. That's what we want.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm not gonna do no lap time guessing. Those who's watching, I'll leave that up to them. I'm pretty much sure I know where the pace is gonna be. I know I'm not the fastest, but I know I'm not too far off. But pace, yeah, it's definitely gonna be pretty impactful for tomorrow's night race for the pro race. For those that are watching, this is obviously the semi-pro race, and the actual main pro race is going to be tomorrow night. So there's a lot of guys that are obviously that some of the people that obviously couldn't make this race, they're going to have to fill in some of the spots in the semi-pro race. And if they choose not to, first, second, and third place are entitled for spots. So if there is a spot open, positions that you had from this race, so if you come first place, you have first option, then second place, then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, vice versa, the whole way down for the actual next for the next race, if there's any spots open. But yeah, let's get our way back to the front though.
Walkfall's almost in slipstream range, but it's really interesting to look at, because it does not look like he's going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. And it's honestly quite a shame, because I was looking at this and it looks like it could have been such a great battle between these two drivers. But I don't think Chateau knows that Walktall is most likely going to have to pit again. So we may see a little bit of battling for the next lap or so.
Yeah, Chateau's pace, he's about 32 seconds off. So yeah, we might actually have a battle really for third place for the podium spot.
Yeah, Walktall Racer may end up back there by Shaw, and it could definitely be interesting, as Walktall does come into the pits. He does make another stop here, and he could come out.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what
definitely quite close to Chateau.
I don't think if he's even going to bother with tires. To me personally, it kind of makes no sense, because the tires are actually just starting to get warm. For some of those that do watch, sometimes you actually see a little heat in the tires. That's good. That doesn't mean that they're bad. But
yeah, Walktall has fueled up just a little bit, and he's going to go back out. And Chateau is going to be
he's coming down the start. Yeah, Chateau is coming down the start finish line straight away. And there's 6 seconds between the two of them. Walktall's got to eat up some of that penalty, but that's caused a very large gap between Walktall and H2O. Unfortunately, that's put him 28 seconds off pace versus that 0.5, and that allows Brienne. She's got more than enough fuel. She can kind of really just throw the hammer down in the tank. She's got more than enough tires to be able to really let the car rip and just burn that fuel, burn them tires up. It's only 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. So she could be able to clean that second place overall. Since we got H2O Pro Sport sitting up front, Brienne from PTL, Walktall Racer sitting in third, Chateau representing the ORG posse. He was able to stick to the wicket. ANC Racing, he's also out there as well. He was able to sit in 5th place overall out of everybody that's entered. And Friesel, die out as well, sitting in 6th place. But it looks like these spots are somewhat pretty much all wrapped up if everybody keeps it on all 4 wheels. But last race was pretty interesting, as some people were when things got a little excited. People started losing some of their positions due to some battling. Walktall Racer looked like he's, like I said, that same corner 2, I don't know what it is, but it keeps going out a little wide. Corner 2, he always catches himself up on that rumble strip. 2 minutes and counting.
Yeah, just under 2 minutes now, it looks like.
So realistically, that should allow him to maybe throw down.
Just H2O is going to get
I think
one lap after this one. But,
yeah, so
from
he'll
second
be able
place
to,
down, it looks like this is going to be their last stop.
Yeah, I didn't catch where Brienne was sitting coming across the start finish line. I didn't realize how much seconds was left.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be her final lap.
Yeah.
So as long as H2O can stay ahead.
What he has to do is just pretty much just keep it on all four wheels. And he should have his endurance Mazda Pro tuning race wrapped up in a bag. Reese is sitting about 11 seconds off. Walkthall is a little bit too far off pace to Brienne. Chateau, he's got quite a bit of work on him to try to catch up to Walkthall Racer between now and these last 20 seconds left in this race. But let's get our way back up to the front to where H2O, as we're going to see, he's definitely got enough to make it across the start finish line in time. So he will definitely get one more lap in, as we have Brienne. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to get on that lead lap, but she will by far definitely secure second place, representing PTL for the endurance race right here in this Mazda Cup for the semi-pro race. Walkthall Race, as he's made his way across the start finish line, he's be able to take third place. Chateau making his way across the start finish line, representing ORG. He was able to secure fourth place overall. And ANC Racing making his way across the start finish line, taking fifth place. And vice versa, Freezer, as he's starting to make his way around the last bend, taking last place in the out of the group that finished, but sixth place overall out of the amount that actually started. So I believe that he finished pretty much mid-pack out of everybody, as we had quite a few people leaving.
But yeah, definitely a really good performance by Walkthall, holding the fastest lap. And
yeah, I
really
was,
good times.
I was actually pretty.
Regardless of all that, our winner now coming around the final corner into the wall.
Pretty much into the wall. He's got it wrapped in the bag. It doesn't really matter.
He has time to celebrate and do what he wants.
He's celebrating. I think he celebrated a little bit early. But yeah, he's got that one wrapped up in the bag, man.
That's that was really good. Really, really good.
That was definitely some exciting action. For those that are watching, I did save the sprint replay, and I am going to save this one as well. So for those that do want to rewatch the race and go over the whole race or any incidents that you did have with all the drivers, I highly suggest that you obviously go over the videos before you make too many assumptions. And yeah, pretty much just go from there. But hey, to all you guys that did tune in to come watch tonight, Leon and the crew, ORG, the PLT guys, my fellow Bermudian friends, and others, big shout out to Gnunsen 1984 as well. Like I said, he's from Denmark. He also did a great job as well in his sprint races. Unfortunately, he pitted prior. I think he didn't understand the rules. He pretty much had that race in the bag, But I'd like to say thank you very much for everybody that was tuning in, and we will definitely be on same time tomorrow night. Wrench unfortunately won't be commentating alongside me because he's gonna try and get his fourth race, uh, fourth sprint race, I guess, endurance race uh, in a row, and hopefully go from there. So once again, thank you very much for everybody joining and being a part of this event. And how do you feel yourself, Wrench, for tomorrow's? So you think you might have been able to absorb some strategy? By okay, and, and I know you're not going to share that because you're racing against certain individuals. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. So I hope everybody tunes in tomorrow because I know the race is going to be pretty impressive. But yeah, like I said, everybody that's out there, thank you very much, man. And I hope you guys tune in tomorrow because it's going to be action packed. This was the semi-pro race, and tomorrow night will be the pro race. And like I said, some of the guys from the semi-pro race, from first place to second, third, all the way down. If there's any spots open, they're more than welcome to try and see if they could keep up with the pros.